I'm just getting too old for this. It's really cold when you get out of the water like that. This is Dorothy Wilhelm. We are on the Swimming Upstream Radio Show. And I'm so glad to see you because we have an exciting program this time. It implies that we don't usually, and you know it's always exciting. But today we have the Queen of Action, Regina Carey, first, and we're going to tell you how to keep the spirit of Christmas, which is gone, we know that, in going into the whole new year. Now, it is our custom to act like we knew something because that's, that's how it is. Regina, start by welcome, by the way. And then what makes us think we know this?
Oh, well, I think we've seen some things. We know some things. We've lived some life. And, all of it should not be for nothing. And there's got to have, we've got to make changes based on the kind of life that we've experienced. And I think one of the things that I am learning is to go with the flow. I love that this swimming upstream. We have the water metaphor because we have to go with the flow.
And I was going to say, and we were speaking with a gentleman earlier who said that he has now come to the point in life where he doesn't go. If he doesn't want to go to something, he doesn't go. If he doesn't want to do something, he doesn't do it. I consider that very brave. What do you think? And I interrupted.
No, the power of no, for sure. In fact, I heard somebody suggest that our first strategy should be no.
Really?
When people ask you to do something, because then if you come back around and say, well, you know what? I looked at my schedule. I can actually do that. They're so pleased. But they feel relieved that you have said yes then after the no.
Well, you know what? I did want to tell people why we thought you would know about this. You are a life coach. Is that correct?
Yes, I am a coach and a speaker and actually an author. I have written a couple things. And that all stems from my background in special education. So first and foremost, I think that I'm an educator. I love to teach.
Well, that is an excellent thing. What have you learned lately?
I have learned that life is very short, and I must embrace all the changes that have come my way because we got a new puppy, which of course makes me feel like a new mother. And at 57, it's very strange to feel like a new mom, but now I remember you forget to eat, you don't sleep, you're woken up in the middle of the night, you have to go. Well, the one thing I never had to do with a newborn is go out in the frigid cold to help them go to the bathroom in the middle of the night. And in these temperatures in Michigan, and I know you in the Northwest, you have some cold weather. It's no fun to get a brand new puppy in the winter.
And of course, right now we're having they're calling them biblical floods. And so you really can't, the water is carrying homes and villages away.
Oh, no.
So it's really, really, really bad. So I don't know where you take your puppy, but at least there'd be a lot of water there. So as a teacher and a life coach, you must help people a lot. I'm going to assume that you do anyway. What do you think? What is the thing that people need most? As far as you can tell, we can't.
I think what people need the most right now is rest. I think there are a lot of exhausted people, and that comes from really the demands that we put on ourselves. I know I am an overfunctioner. I overfunction not only in my work, but in my relationships and in my community and in my everything. I tend to overfunction to make sure things go just so. And slowing down and resting and using that as a part of our system for managing life, navigating life is so important.
How do you go about doing that?
Like with anything, I think the way to make it happen is to either have it come out of your wallet or go into your calendar. Sometimes both. So one way to do it is to pay for it. And so you invest in yourself by getting regular massages or going on a retreat where you have to rest and relax. Or you put it in your calendar and you make time for it in your schedule every day, even if I'm learning how to even sit in this chair and be still when I am working with clients. Normally I stand, but as of late, I have really been enjoying sitting. And this chair in particular, Dorothy, I want to tell you about it. My daughter ordered it because she likes to sit crisscross applesauce. Do you remember that terminology?
Good.
That's when you cross your legs and sit, with your legs crossed foot over foot, crisscross applesauce. That's what the teachers used to say to the kids. Sit down, crisscross applesauce. So this chair has a particularly wide base, and it's almost like a saddle. It's very comfortable to sit on. And so I can sit crisscross applesauce or one leg tucked under another. And it's very relaxing to sit in this chair.
So that's
one way.
That's one way. That's really good. But you mentioned the kids and everything. As your kids grow and your puppies come, what do you know? What do you know that you didn't know last time we talked?
What I know is that I am at a place in my life where I have grown children. And so since we last spoke, my youngest has turned into an adult. He's 18 now. And I am learning that they're going to be just fine. I don't have to be responsible for everything, waking them up, feeding them, taking them places. And so recognizing that they can do it on their own. They don't actually need me. And with that comes all of the things, grieving this part of life where they're on their own and I can let them go and they're going to be just fine, letting go of that. And really relinquishing responsibility for their relationships with one another, with my husband, their father. I'm not responsible for any of that. And that's kind of a cool awareness.
Do be aware that it comes and it goes. The fact that they are gone doesn't mean they'll stay gone.
No, correct. And I do have 2 of the 3 still living in the house. And there are times when they will need me. But one of the things that I challenge my mom clients, the women I work with who are moms, I challenge them to go a day without giving advice.
The Raymond.
What's that?
The Raymond syndrome, the TV show, Everybody Loves Raymond.
Oh.
The mom, Doris, she's, all the time.
That's right. Always. And it really is, it's a great way to wake up to how often you are telling people what you think, how to fix it, how to make it better, how to do it differently.
Right.
And what they discover is it is a rare occasion that somebody comes to them and says, "Mom, could I get your advice on something?" They usually just want you to listen.
That's true. That is very true. And you have to wait to be asked for advice, which they won't do, by the way. So.
Absolutely. And it even ties back into this idea of slowing down. Because when we slow down and allow people to come into our space and talk with us, we really see that person and we're better able to listen. Whereas when we're moving quickly and doing, 20 things like moms
I
do,
guess, okay, honey, right. Mhm, uh-huh.
we just want to keep things moving. So we fix their problem and send them off. And
And
it
I
really
I
is
think
not
a lot of us assume that we were asked for advice. That, I mean, the very fact that they spoke to us must mean.
right. Yeah. Yes, and you think about that, it's sort of like muscle memory. When we had a child as a baby and a little one, if they came to us, it's always because they needed something. They wanted to be, fed or changed, or a broken toy needed to be fixed. So you're right. That's muscle memory. We instinctively think they're coming to us, they want something, we'll fix it, and then we can move on.
And where the problem is there is we want to fix it our way, and our way is not their way anymore.
Correct.
It's very, very. So with all this motherly wisdom we have gained and professional wisdom as well, do you look back on, do you have any New Year traditions? Are you saving anything? Do you have any New Year traditions left that you always follow?
Throughout the year, and I don't have it right here. I wish I would have remembered to have it. It's a jar. It's a glass jar with a twist lid. And all throughout the year, usually it used to be a family thing, but we drop in wonderful things that happen during the year.
Marvelous idea.
So, my middle one got a job. My youngest one is going to graduate from high school early. My oldest started singing again. These things where just little things, or we got a bonus check in the mail or something, and we collect those all throughout the year. And then on Christmas Eve, we open the jar and remind ourselves of all the good and all the blessings that we've had during the year. And I think that's especially important right now, given the kind of world, United States, that we're living in. We need to be reminded of the good things that happened.
Well, don't you think we could move that a little now, like we have missed Christmas and all, but couldn't you open it and look at it when you needed a lift,
Absolutely, we could. Sure thing. I also keep a basket. I keep this wicker basket as a part of my meditation routine, and I drop people's names or situations that I pray for on a regular basis, daily basis. And of course, as you can imagine, this basket has filled up. And often I will revisit that basket and look at answered prayers.
It's wonderful. So that's another thing.
Yeah.
Now I want to go back to that puppy again, though. I'm kind of concerned.
If you must, yeah.
Well, that's why I want to ask. What do you think about? Was it a smart thing to get a puppy for Christmas, or might you have waited?
Well, I will say this, and it's a great disclaimer. I did not want a new puppy because I knew I made my wishes known, but that didn't stop the two of them. No. I would only recommend it if you have a veterinarian as a part of the household, which I am lucky to do. I'm lucky to have. And so that is really good. And it does bring joy. It has infused a lot of laughter into the household over the holiday season because he came right before Thanksgiving. So it has given us reason to laugh, to cry, to share pictures with the grandparents. They love seeing the videos of the dog. And the other thing is, one of the main reasons that we got this puppy is because last year we had to put down one of our dogs, and our one who is left, she has been very sad and not very engaging. And now she is it's just like we see in some of the social media, Instagram reels and things. She has come alive and plays with her brother and is learning to share toys and is teaching him things. So that has been a joy. It really has. And I think maybe secretly we all needed this puppy to infuse a little,
Well,
spirit
sure.
into the household.
It
Hmm.
sounds like it was probably the best time to get it, though. Would you? It seems to me like you might recommend getting the doggy early, a month or so early, rather than right at Christmas.
Yes, because then, there are pockets of time too when the kids are home from school. You've got more people in the household who can look after and take shifts. And so in that way, it has been really a blessing. And we're fortunate that my husband has been pretty much working from home for the month of December. And that has been really good because he's on top of, the food, because puppies' food changes very quickly over the course of just weeks. And he's been able to monitor that. So it's been a great time really for our family, but I'm sure it's dependent on what your family looks like.
Well, and it's different for everybody. In fact, we were
Yeah.
talking a little earlier about traditions, and of course, I think New Year's traditions have really changed. I don't think people do things at the New Year
Mm.
the way we used to in my home when I was a girl. The big deal on Christmas and New Year's was codfish soup, which is the most wretched thing God ever put on earth. And so, but
Yes.
it was our tradition to eat it. And in those days, of course, Catholics couldn't have meat on Friday. So on New Year's Eve and Christmas Eve, you had codfish soup. And it's so terrible. And it was, and you could only get it by the time my kids came along. And for some reason, I seem to think I must keep making it. I don't know why.
Oh.
You could only get it. There was a delicatessen in Tacoma where they had dried, you get this big piece of dried codfish soup, codfish, which you took home and put in something wet and gave it 2 or 3 days to fluff up a little. And then you made the soup, which was pretty much codfish and water, a little bit of onion, maybe.
I was going to say maybe an onion.
Some turnip, maybe, possibly a carrot. But believe me, it wasn't good. And we had it, darn it, every Christmas, New Year's, from the time I was born until I was married. So probably up to about 15 years ago. So,
Wow.
now
No.
that person, no. So do you have any things like that you can liberate yourself from, or
Liberate myself from? Well, I do have this treasure of a collection of all the family recipes that one side of my family, my great wonderful aunt, put together. And I can see the stories. There's stories about things like the fish soup. My grandmother made something with liver soup or something that it was quite a story. I think my grandfather told her to never make it again. And with the family of 7 kids, and they all hated it. But so I relish going into that cookbook and pulling things out, trying something new in the new year. But one thing that I will never make and I could never stand was my grandmother's sauerkraut. She made it from scratch, and it somehow wafted all throughout the house, and I think out the chimney, because I could smell it when we pulled in the driveway, and I would just run away from the house until it was done.
Well, there is no other way to make sauerkraut than from scratch. I'm sorry to tell you. But when I was growing up, that's the food of poor people. So we always had that huge barrel of sauerkraut and it was in the living room by the stove. And we did not have a big house, so it was really tar paper. And so it was there, and I hated it. I mean, I just hated it. And then the funny thing is, life will betray you. I kind of like it now. I don't like it a lot. I don't imagine I don't like it, but now I kind of like it.
There is a story of one time when I was in North Carolina. I was living in North Carolina, and a friend from, I don't know, she was from Yugoslavia or something. She invited me and another woman to her house for a special Christmas dinner. And of course, you don't say no to an invitation like that, because it was, I could tell how meaningful it was to her. And so we went, and would you know it, she served sauerkraut soup. And it is the one and only time I have ingested sauerkraut. And it took every ounce of willpower and determination to graciously eat a portion of that soup.
I'm proud of you.
Thank you. But it never again in my life, nor will I make codfish soup. But I do make homemade bread at Christmas time.
Oh,
and because of the new puppy and travel and all the craziness, I will be making more like New Year's bread this year. And so that is a family recipe that continues. My children are learning to make it too.
That's wonderful. There's nothing like fresh home-baked bread and everything. But it's so funny about I think about the sauerkraut, because I hated it also, but that was poor people's food. That was what you had. And so it's good that we can say no, So, and speaking of that, we have managed to talk our way with little effort through this.
Oh my goodness.
And so I want an inspirational word from you to leave our listeners with.
Well, I will say this, we talked about keeping the spirit alive, and what I will say is, this year, go easy on yourself. We often say, gosh, what's wrong with me? Why can't I do this thing? And I want to encourage our listeners to look at the system instead of yourself. So if you're saying, why can't I just, I don't know, eat healthier? Why can't I eat sauerkraut, Dorothy? Well, I would say, what is your system for eating healthier? Well, I don't know. I go to the store and I try to buy, but I spend all that time in the middle shelves or the middle aisles where all the crunchy processed foods. One way to eat healthier is don't bring it into your house.
Right.
That's a great system. But look at your systems, not yourself. That would be my advice this year. And you did ask for it. You asked for it.
Yeah,
So
I
I'm getting
did.
it.
I did ask for it. And it was great. And so now if people would like to get in touch with you, how might they do it?
queenofaction.com.
And Regina Carey is the Queen of Action. And so we'll be getting together again soon, cooking up a little devilment, because why not? And in the meantime, Happy New Year to you. Thanks for coming by. And this is you. If you want me, you can always find me. Dorothy at itsnevertoolate.com, although sometimes it is too late,
Correct.
And so we'll be seeing you next time. Happy New Year.